Hyatt categories are meaningless. Wyndham has new cards. The new quarter is here, and Chase Pay Yourself Back isn't quite as good. All of that coming up right now on MTM Travel.
I think Benji's still kicking rocks over that pay yourself back stuff.
He's going to get a lot of mileage out of that one. So happy Thursday, Mark. A lot going on in the miles and points world, but it is the 250th birthday of the United States this weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like how crazy or not crazy things get. I'm expecting it to be fairly busy up here with a lot of fireworks. So people usually shoot them off the beach over to the lake, their own thing, and then we can watch the city's fireworks shows from the water. And it's been so hot that the lake's usually still pretty cold this time of year, but with how hot it's been, it feels good. So we'll have to see how all that goes. I mean, I remember the first year after COVID, when people can kind of like maybe 2021, the 4th of July, it was like madhouse up here because everybody's like, oh, I just want to go somewhere. I got to get out of the house. And then it's kind of died off since then. So I'm curious to see if this feels more like 2021 or if it's kind of like everything else.
Yeah, usually 4th of July is that big weekend where people are starting to do their summer travel, or it's like the crush of summer travel, the height of all of it. I've done a lot of traveling, like road trips through the U.S. in June where it's like less busy. Then you get to July 4th. But oil prices have been higher. They have come down a little bit, so maybe that is going to help people do their road trip. But I'm sure everybody's going to have fun celebrating. We talked on the Vegas show about all the craziness here, and I'm sure every city is like that, where there's just more to do than ever before.
I always love when the reporters are like, I ask the question, are you going to travel this summer because of oil or gas prices or whatever? Are you still going to go on your trips? And they're like, no, like I can't, we're going to drive here. And they're like, you realize that would cost you $25 more than it.
Or get an electric car, Mark, then you don't have to worry about it. I only look at gas prices for reference.
Spend more up front. No, I get that gas prices hit you all week and every day, and that it adds up, and everything else is so expensive these days with inflation and everything. So I totally understand that a lot of people are probably having to cut back on their summer trips. It was just a joke because they always do point that out, and I'm always like, oh man, people never really do the math, and then they just look at them like, oh, that's it, that's all it costs.
It's funny, I said electric cars, and everybody likes to say that, and it is cheaper if you charge at home. But when you're on a road trip and you're going to the superchargers and stuff, it really isn't much cheaper. I guess when gas was like $5 or $6 a gallon, maybe it was a little bit cheaper. But when gas is $3.50 a gallon, it's not cheaper on road trips. So that is a myth of owning an electric car.
Interesting. Plus, you have to like sit there and find those things. Gas stations are everywhere.
Well, I think that I'm just going to speak from having an electric car for 6 years. I've never had a problem finding a charging station. And this is, Nevada, California. I feel like that part is a little bit overblown, but yeah, I'm sure we're going to open up this whole debate.
The two places that have the most electric cars of all time.
Nevada?
Well, California. Nevada, I'm sure there's some stretches that are a little bit risky if you don't have a full charge, though.
I will say when I bought my Tesla in 2020, there was 4 sets of charging stations, Tesla branded charging stations around town. And now I think there's 16. That's just Tesla and everything else. I think that it's all matured, but let's get off the topic of road trips and electric cars. And I'm sure everybody out there the keyboard warriors are telling me either how great electric cars are or how terrible Tesla is. And I agree with both of those things.
Okay, let's just ramp it up.
It's a new quarter, Mark, July 1st. And Chase is, targeted spending offers, the My Bonus offers that you can check. And we have the link where you can check them. Now, I checked a handful of cards before. And to back up, these are the targeted spending offers that Chase sends out every quarter for, spending in certain categories. You get extra bonus points. And they generally send them across all their cards. And you can go check to see what you're targeted with. You'll also generally receive an email saying that you're targeted here, but being able to go through all your cards on the website is super easy. Again, I didn't see any offers on my cards before the show. Are you seeing something good this month?
I did get the spend 3,000, get 3,000 points on my Hyatt card, which I'm kind of surprised because I got that last quarter too. And I double checked to make sure the dates had said like from July 1st to the end of September. So I got them back to back, and I'm still working on the 15K free night spend. So kudos to me, or good luck to me that windfall happened. The extra 6,000 points on my way to 15K is nice to have, and it kind of makes it worth spending on the card since I'm probably only earning 1x on it normally because there's not the greatest bonus categories for that. And then I always think of the free night cert as worth another 1x. So there's 2x, and these two 3,000 point bonuses give me another like half. So I'm earning 2.5 Hyatt points for 15K in spend, which I'll take. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and oftentimes Southwest cards have them. All the co-branded cards have them. And as you said, like the Hyatt card's a great example of one. I tend to get, again, I don't have one on my Hyatt card this quarter, so I don't know what's going on. But that one is pretty solid. And as you say, if you can strategically work this into spending the 15K for the free night cert, then it makes a ton of sense. We'll talk later in the show about why that cert might be more valuable than ever before, too.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's the only time that, well, I don't want to get into it. Let's save that for the back. A little tease there. But yeah, I think I have to update the article because I did see after reporting it, we kind of I got the offer or the email on the 30th, right before the first, so I sent it out first thing in the morning. And it looks like there's even some 10x or 10% back offers. A lot of people are seeing it on their Prime card. And usually the high was like 7x. So it's cool to see them beefing that up a bit.
Well, what they're not beefing up is pay yourself back on the Sapphire Reserve. Benji had an article about how they changed it. They have the new categories for the new quarter. And the big change that he's highlighting is going down to 1.2% or 20% more compared to 25% more. I think in the past quarter it was what grocery. In this quarter, it's gas stations, but instead of 25% more, now you're only getting 20% with pay yourself back. So chipping away at it, as Benji says.
I know this feels so cheap. Like we're talking like 500ths, if I got my decimal points right there, of a per like 500ths. What are we doing here? If you're gonna drop it down to 1 cent, all right. I mean, that would have sucked, but at least that's a big jump to go from 1.25 to 1.2. Just feels so petty. I don't know. And after everything else that they've done, they're just trying to chip away. And it's not like they're not making billions of dollars in profit. They're not struggling. Chase is not having issues there. I doubt that this is a huge area of redemption for the majority of their cardholders. So it's not even like it costs them a lot. I have to get, I mean, if I'm going to guess why they did this, do you think that's kind of the area that they buy Hyatt points for and they want everything to be, that's like the peak redemption and everything else to be below that?
I have to think that probably a small number of people are using it for large amounts and I mean, I don't know. Because like you say, it's not this huge benefit. They very slowly have just chipped away at it. It seems very nickel and dimey. And I mean, there has to be real numbers would be my sort of point, is that Chase has to have real numbers as to why to do this. And maybe that is to what you're saying, is that they're trying to reach an overall thing. But banks don't look at it as every redemption has to be this. They have a lot of data to say, what is the average redemption of our point? And, they have all different levels. That's why, pay with points is often 0.7 cents or something like that. They get you to use it on Amazon or something and, screw yourself that way. And then what does it average out to be? At least when I've talked to like the built people, that's the way that they view it, is saying, okay, what is the average across all these redemption offers? What is the average that our customers getting?
Yeah, but with the recent change on Hyatt, the transfer rate, I'm guessing that they're trying to nail down to, like you said, a certain redemption level or below. And I think they want like the peak to be the peak. And that's why I'm thinking that something costs them 1.2 cents. They didn't want the pay yourself back to be above that or better than that or cost them more than that. But this is encouraging people to spend on their credit cards to be able to redeem those points. And most of the times it's in a 1x category. So it's not even like you're giving them 1.25 cents back for every dollar or spend they do at the grocery store or the gas station. That's not a great deal for them. Like you can, with the Freedom Unlimited, you get 1.5% back in actual cash. So you're still coming out ahead in that respect. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe this is just a benefit that they don't like anymore, and they're just trying to sort of make it not good so people forget about it and it sort of goes away over time.
It could be. And at 1.5 cents, this used to be a really good benefit. And even the portal at 1.5 cents, I think we didn't value it as much as we should have, or everything was worth more back then, points wise. So it seemed like you were kind of, going for low hanging fruit or giving up some value doing it. But now, if they were still giving 1.5 cents on everything, I think a lot of people would be leaning that way or doing a ton of redemptions. So maybe that's why they made these changes. I still think the Aeroplan card is the best for pay yourself back at 1.25 cents, and that's for all travel, whether it's on Air Canada or not. So that's the way to go. It is capped, but if you're going to start earning or move your Chase points, you want to redeem them for cash like travel, then that's a card you need to have in your wallet, I think.
What about the Wyndham cards, Mark? They have refreshed their card lineup, and now we have four. Do we need four Wyndham cards? That's the big question. They have a new premium card, $395 annual fee, and I guess the big headline here: 120,000 point welcome offer on their new Premier card, which is the premium card. And they split that up: 6,000 spent in the first 120 days gets the first 90,000 points. Then you have to spend $750 on Wyndham hotels in order
Yeah.
to unlock the last 30 points.
No
There's a
thanks.
deal breaker right there.
Yeah, it's called a 90,000 sign up bonus. That's what I would just look at it as, which is still a very solid bonus. I value Wyndham points at around 1 cent a piece. If you transfer them to Caesar's Rewards, which is capped at 30K a year, but transferring that to there gets you 1 cent at Caesar's locations. So let's just call it a $900 bonus. You're spending $400. But I really do think if you spend time at Wyndham or you value their points, this card is compelling, and I think that they did a really good job with it.
So let's go through some of the benefits. A 30,000 anniversary bonus every year. So in addition for paying that annual fee, like you said, you're getting a decent chunk of points back. You're getting the diamond membership, which you can also get with like the business earner card, executive status with national car rental, and a lot of other things. They're starting the couponification stuff, $100 streaming credit, $65 warehouse membership credit, get your Costco membership paid for, $10 per month meal delivery. So there is ways. I mean, if you look at just the points and some of these other little perks, you can definitely see offsetting the annual fee. And then, as you said, the points for the welcome offer aren't terrible. Is this the first hotel card we've seen that we had that type of spend requirement to unlock the full bonus?
Yeah, I think in the past it's been like some type of credit if you spend so much at hotels. I don't know that there's ever been a full-on requirement for a big chunk of points. Something similar, but maybe not quite like this. We always complain how credit cards have become coupon books, and we wish they were more or less restrictive. And I think that they did a good job with this. Like $100 Wyndham credit, I'm guessing room charges work if you're using point stay. That will come off. $100 streaming, it's not like a monthly thing. It's not $9 a month or you have to do it every month. It's $100 per calendar year. So if you pay up front for a year, you get the full credit. And since it's calendar year, in that first year, you could do it twice, which is kind of cool. And same thing for the warehouse. That's just when you pay the yearly thing, it comes off. Streaming has a list of streaming options quite a bit. It's not linked to one thing that you might not want to do. And then that comes off as you use it. So I think that makes it easier. And then we're talking 30,000 points is worth somewhere in the $250 to $300 range for a lot of people. So that offsets most of the annual fee right there. And the biggest perk, or one of the bigger perks, the most annoying thing of the Wyndham program is that their points expire 4 years after you earn them, regardless of if you earn more points or not. It's just a hard four-year clock. With this card, your points never expire as long as you're a card holder, which is crazy. And they didn't even highlight it. It's like buried in the terms. This is exactly like the Summit card, that annoying fee they charge you to book partner awards. They're like, hey, we made this problem, but let me fix it with this card. Wyndham did the same thing. Kudos to Barclays. I think that they did a really good job with this.
Yeah, other programs have sold that as a benefit. Your points never expire. That's because you're constantly earning them. Or I think Spirit definitely did that with their credit card. But yeah, this is a little bit different. And as you said, a lot of people aren't paying attention to that. And we've all earned points and then they're sitting there 4 years later. So to think that, oh, I would definitely use them, sometimes that happens. And so it is nice that this is a benefit of that. Also, the Caesars thing shouldn't be underplayed. Like being able to, for people who like Vegas or like Caesars properties, being able to do it. But the one thing that we have to talk about is some bad news, Mark, is that Wyndham, remember what was it, 10 years ago now, Wyndham relaunched their program with the one tier, 15,000 points for everything.
Those days.
Yes, beautiful days. Every hotel top. Well, I mean, some people were paying 15,000 points for some terrible hotels too, but the best you could do. Currently, coming into the current scheme, the hotels cap out at 30,000 points a night. There's a 15,000 point tier and a 7,500 point tier. So, for some of the lower end things, you can go even lower. Well, that's all changing on September 15th. And it's going to, there's some good news. That 7,500 point tier is going down to 5,000 points. Then you will have a 15,000, a 30,000, and then a brand new 45,000 point tier. This sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds like they've been watching everybody else jack up their prices, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what are we still doing here, being somewhat cheap?" So, I can't blame them for that. It's just a question of how many hotels do they think are worthy of a 45K tier. I don't know that they have that many that you'd push up there. I would expect some all inclusives to go in there, maybe some international properties, but a lot of the roadside stuff isn't going to touch that. So it will be a question of like how judicious do they be when they are moving things around, and we'll have to see. And I'm sure it will start out okay and it will get worse over time. Another perk we forgot to mention on the premium card with Wyndham is you get 25% off award stays, and that rolled out a little bit better rates for the art cards. The annual fees went up, earning structure changed a bit, mostly got rid of gas or reduced the gas. So I think when you pair that up, 25% off with this increase, I think you'll still come out. Most of your stays will be the same price or a little bit less. So that's kind of nice. I don't know. If you're into Wyndham, I think that this still is a good program with that card attached. But most people probably don't care because it's Wyndham.
Yeah, I mean, probably not, but I think you made a good point about the all-inclusives. They've previously had them separate. They don't have a separate all-inclusive chart. And, Wyndham's been in the all-inclusive business for a very long time now, a very mature sort of business for them. And I bet that a lot of those all-inclusives are heading up to 45,000 points. And like you said, some of their few high-end hotels. But if you're wanting lower-end hotels, then 5,000 points. So you have that option to go even cheaper. You have like the new rebate. And there are now 4 cards, like I said. So there is an article we have that breaks down all the differences in the cards, what you want, what you don't want. And yeah, I think that $395 card is, at least it's compelling for the right person. Like you can look at it and I can explain where the value is in that for the right person. And I also think with the 4-year expiration, and are you going to keep it long term? Should people just be getting these points without any plan? Probably not, because yes, the card will keep it open or keep your points from expiring, but are you going to keep the card for 4 years in order to achieve that?
Yeah, but if you have a stash that's getting close to the expiration, you might want to jump on it, get the bonus, and extend it, and then burn those down over the next year or so. The really interesting thing that they did is when they rolled out these new cards or the refresh and they increased the annual fees, they didn't grandfather in any old card holders to that new system. Like, and some of them might like the perks a little bit better, but the gas earning, like on the business card, that dropped down from it's at 8x for legacy card holders. So they might just want to stay with the old card. They're talking about potentially offering up a way to transition or product change into the new ones if you want that. I think some people will probably like happy that they didn't get rolled in. So that was kind of cool of them, if they do end up allowing you to product change, that they said, hey, you can keep your old one. That's what you signed up for. If you want this new one, get it in the future or sign up for it. So they did it a little bit different that way.
And let's close with this, Mark. We're starting to see the real world results of Hyatt's changes to their categories, and specifically having so many different versions of what a category could cost. And we had predicted, or you had, I remember you talking specifically on this show about how we will eventually see different categories, like a category 3 hotel costing more than a category 4 hotel. But you already discovered that. It didn't take very long. You're looking in New Orleans for an upcoming trip and you see that. And it kind of opens up, before we what is a peak? How do we determine which hotels charge which? You could have hotels that are near each other and charging different values and different prices. And your argument is that that's why free night certificates are more valuable than ever. To see a category 3 going for 20,000 compared to a category 4 going for 15,000 just breaks my heart.
It's crazy. Yeah, and this is the perfect example for it because they are literally a block away. Like they're 1 block away. And you can't say, well, maybe one's a bit nicer. Like one's a category 3, one's a category 4. I think people probably like the category 3 hotel a little bit more. But I was always under the assumption, and I feel like it kind of rang out this way in the past, like all the hotels in a city were on the same award chart. Like if it was peak, standard, off peak. And I figured it would kind of be that way. Like, oh, if there's an event going on, everybody's going to be on top or everybody's going to be standard. And this has one hotel, the top price, the most expensive, and then the hotel a block away in a higher category as the second to lowest price and low. And I just find that insane. and then you're like looking at a free night search. You used to search out like, all right, where can I find a category 4 that I like? It's got to be a category 4. And then it's got to be a category 4 at peak. Now it doesn't matter because a flipping a category 2 could be more expensive than a category 4 in the same city on the same day. That doesn't make sense.
See, they just made the certificate better. They improved the value. They didn't want you to get this mental lock on trying to find the best category 4, waste all that time. They just want you redeeming wherever it is. I mean, it's a great point. It's a huge decline in the program forget about the free certs, right? Forget about that little aspect of maybe this does make it a little easier to redeem, or you can do the mental gymnastics.
Feel better about it.
Yeah, exactly. About it. But this is really catastrophic because everything is going to be, in many cases, 40% more expensive or higher than it would have been previously. And if you really zoom out to the last few years, to when they put in the peak off peak initially, before that, I mean, we're talking crazy prices. In many cases, you're paying double what you were a few years ago for hotels. And we still got to go deeper into the schedule. This still has to work itself out. But I expect that you're going to see this more. But it is interesting to see in the same market. So it's a good reminder to check different I mean, I guess most people search by the market anyway. But it doesn't mean just because one is at the highest price that another hotel in the same market won't be, or, that it won't be cheap.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is are they allowing hotels now, because the cash price was higher on the category 3 too. So I'm wondering if that's more sold out and they're kind of pushing up the cash price. So are they able to adjust once the calendar comes out? In the past, they had always said no, like they set the calendar in advance and that's what it is. If it's peak, it's peak. It stays peak. If it's standard, it stays standard, even if it becomes busy. And I'm starting to feel like they're able to shift it depending on demand. Maybe it's every so often, maybe it's whenever they feel like it. But that's the only way I could see how this would play out like this.
It's a good point. We haven't gotten like 100% clarification on that, but it was my understanding that that was going to be the case, that they were going to be far more nimble based on demand and pricing and how full a hotel is in adjusting it. But I haven't seen it spelled out 100% if they're doing that or not, but I would expect that they are. That was always my understanding. And that's sort of why they did this, right? So that they could mimic the points price, could mimic the cash price, and they could map the value and basically eliminate any outsized value. When they're trying to do that, it's to try to eliminate those great redemptions, like my $800 a night stay years ago at the Hyatt Regency in Green Bay for 5,000 points when it was a category 1. Like stuff like that just doesn't exist anymore, because they, at least that's not a category 1 anymore. But even that category 1 that has, in the case of Lambeau Field or Green Bay, 8 events a year where it has crazy demand and the cash prices are super low otherwise, now they can just jack that up and make sure that everybody's paying their fair price, and that Hyatt is reimbursing the hotels. That's really what this is about. It's about money. It's about getting rid of the value. All the little holes in between that we like to operate in, they're gone. And I think this is a great example of that.
Well, as we recently talked about, the hotel owners are still getting the same money no matter what they're charging, which blows my mind.
Yeah, but somebody's making money. So buy the Hyatt stock. I guess the Pritzkers are laughing all the way to the bank. I don't know. But yeah, I've been so negative about Hyatt this year. If you watch the show, and not that I'm negative, I just stayed in a bunch of Hyatts. It's fine. It's going to be a decent part of my travel going forward. It's just a reminder that it isn't what it was. And we should all be moving on and diversifying now before we get stuck having to pay 50,000 points for a Hyatt place.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just move points as you need them, check more than just Hyatt, like a lot of people used to in the past. And I still think they're the best option most of the time for Ultimate Rewards, but it's creeped into where other things could get you there too. It's not like Ultimate Rewards are Hyatt points like they used to be. So just be more judgmental, I guess. I don't know. You're more judicious on your searches. Take into account to more things, and then focus on just the points price. If you're booking points, don't worry about the category. Don't worry about the cash. Just focus on how many points, which hotel gives me the best value on points in the area that looks nicest, best reviews, best bang for your buck, because cash prices are fake and inflated anyway.
And that's what I think, because who the hell is paying these cash prices anymore?
Yeah.
Hotels are just, outside of Las Vegas, hotels are just insane, sometimes in Las Vegas too. But, if all else fails, just get a Wyndham card.
There you go. Bang.
And so let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about. What are you doing for the 4th of July, the 250th birthday of the country? Chase, cutting pay yourself back, is that a huge thing? Are they at this point getting a little ridiculous with the little nickel and diming? Wyndham's new cards, is that compelling to you? And then Hyatt, have you seen some examples like this? Share your examples down in the comments. We do 2 shows a week. We'll be back on Tuesday with our travel show. Make sure to check us out 3 times a week over on our Vegas channel as well. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Shout out podcast listeners. Talk to you next time.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Happy 4th of July.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your